When all else fails, they take you to war. I talked about what Roosevelt did in 1941. What happened before that? There was a thing called the Great Depression. When all else fails, they take you to war. Go back to the dot-com bust. October 1999, the headline, dot-com bust. Busted in March of 2000. NASDAQ was only down 66%. Create a new fake thing. We'll have a fake real estate market, a derivatives thing. We'll make up anything we can. So that's what we're saying. The United States isn't about the bottom line. The United States way out is with war. Look at the guy that's plays the United States Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. What was he? Oh, he was a general. No, after he became a general, you mean he sat on the board of directors of Raytheon, the second largest defense contractor in the United States? Oh, by the way, look at their stocks since this has gone up. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, all the defense contractors, boom, boom, boom. So that's where the United States is going. China and the BRICS are going in another direction.
Stick to the Fed for a second because you brought up the Fed. I want to know where you think they're headed. You mentioned we might see another rate hike. We all know they want to slow down because inflation is cooling. Where do they go from here? What trend do you see with the Fed?
Again, it's a guessing game because let's go back. We had forecasted the Trends Journal, by the way, that if there was not a Santa Claus rally in 2022, just passed, it's going to go down deep in the first 3 months of 2023. However, you cannot forecast what they're going to do. It's a guessing game regarding the Feds because let's go back to December 2018. Woo! The markets are going down really sharp. Donald Trump put extreme pressure on Jerome Powell to lower interest rates. Just before that, going back into November, Powell said they weren't going to raise interest rates. Powell came back in early January giving the message that they were going to lower interest rates. So the power of the president is very strong. And again, the financial business, they're the ones that run the show, the BlackRocks and the Blackstones and all the private equity groups that are in charge. If they put pressure on the Fed to lower interest rates, they're going to do it. It's not about we the people. It's about the ones running the show.
What are the chances of QE creeping back in 2023?
Very good question. I called it wrong in 2012. I thought the economy was going to crash in 2012. They invented a thing called quantitative easing. They didn't teach us that in Economics 101 at graduate school, nor did they teach us about zero and negative interest rate policy. They could come up with anything. The money people are in charge. Anybody that thinks they have a government of we the people, they're still being taught in kindergarten to K-12 and graduate school. That's who's in control of the government.
You made headlines with this statement. The Fed will seize all your money. How?
They're going to do anything they can to control our lives. Look what's going on with the interest rates. What's the inflation rate? We hit 10.7%. You're still deep in negative territory. So in the United States, what do you have? You have inflation rate at 7.1, and you have a 4.5. You're still in negative territory. So here's what they're going to do. This is going to be the year we believe that we're going to start seeing going from dirty cash to digital trash. They're going to make up something new, and that's the way they're going to get out of this thing. Look at the United States, just passed a $1.7 trillion budget when you have a $30.1 trillion deficit. They're going to make something up. Here, the Russians just hacked our banking system. You can't get your money out, but don't worry about it. We're coming up with a new currency. They'll make up anything. Oh, going back to, I said, when all else fails, they take you to war. The guy that was the president, FDR. Oh, that's the guy. You don't own gold anymore. Bring your gold into us, or else you go to jail. They'll make up anything. And I believe this is going to be the year where there's going to be a big push toward a digital currency.
So
and that's the way the Fed's going to get us.
This is the year that the road begins towards a central bank digital currency in the U.S.
Matter of fact, that's the way we see it happening. And it's going to go like that, like that, like that. And we're doing this to protect you so we can know every penny that you spent, where you spent it, what you spent it on, so we can get the tax money, because we're politicians and we don't work a day in our lives, and we need your money and all the little clowns that we call public servants that work for us, that do what we tell them to do, so we can keep them paid, so we get all your money. That's where this thing is going. And I say to people, if you're keeping money in the bank, why are you keeping it there?
What do central banks know that we don't know?
What they know is how they're going to rig it, and we don't know when they're going to do it and how they're going to do it. But again, as I was saying, why would you keep your money in a bank when they're not paying you anything and they're making money on your money? So going back to gold, gold is the #1 safe haven asset. When gold went down into the 1600s a few months ago, we said this is the bottom, it's going up from now. And now it's been hitting, several month high. Again, when they go digital, gold is going to go through the roof, because that's going to be the only real currency that's going to be accepted to pay, to transfer, because they're going to do away with all the paper money.
On that note, I know you like gold in the past. You also had an open heart to Bitcoin. I know you had invested in Bitcoin, but curious to know if your stance has changed at all after the crypto carnage. And I know Bitcoin's in a league of itself, but obviously SPF and all that garbage affecting the whole sector. Your thoughts on the crypto space? It's
going to be tough. I think there'll be a place for Bitcoin, and very interesting with Bitcoin, even though it's way down from when it was 60,000, it's still at 16,000. And when you go back, 11 years ago, it started at 0. And it's been in the $16,000 range now for months. It hasn't gone down from there. The only thing that I think it's going to stop it is when they come out with digital. This is what we said going back to 2020, when our magazine cover was from dirty cash to digital trash. When the governments when they go fully digital, they're not going to want any competition. And they're going to make it very hard for it. That's the only way we see it going down. But we still see Bitcoin, as all the cryptocurrencies, as the one that's going to stabilize until they do that and it becomes the real deal. And it's going to take a few years for that to happen. It's going to start gradually, and then all of a sudden it'll end and we'll all be digital.
I want to get your thoughts on the political landscape, but just quick thoughts on the US dollar. How important is it to the Fed, to the government, to keep the dollar propped up here?
Yeah, they have to. But where's the competition to the dollar? That's the whole issue. And when you look at the yuan, what does it account for? Like 3 or 4% of the whole situation in trading. In the euro,
right.
Where's the euro going to go?
Let me ask you this. We don't know how much gold China's buying. I mean, there are theories that they may, release some sort of gold-backed currency that would be a competitor to the US dollar. What do you make of that theory?
That could be a reality if something like that happens. But the way it stands is now, no. There's no competition for the dollar, even though the dollar should be in the toilet. Again, you're $31 trillion in debt. You just put another fake $1.7 trillion in there. This thing should be going way down. But again, where's the competition? But as you said, if they start coming out and say, no, our currency is backed by gold, the United States is backed by nothing.